All right, so I know you guys are out there trying to crush the IELTS and especially get that band 7 or higher, which
Yeah,
means academic vocabulary. That's the key.
absolutely.
We are diving deep into academic vocabulary for IELTS, words you need to know to help give you guys a shortcut to understanding and actually using this high-level language in a way that's going to impress those examiners.
Yeah, what's interesting about academic vocabulary is it's not just about using big words,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's about choosing the words that signal to the examiner that you can handle these complex ideas in a very precise and sophisticated way, just like a real academic would.
Yeah, it's like you're speaking their language.
That's
You're
your-
showing them you belong.
Yes.
So this book actually breaks this down into 5 key categories.
Okay.
Each one designed to kind of boost your IELTS performance.
Got it.
It's almost like leveling up
Yeah, I like that.
your English skills.
It is. It's like each category builds on the last one to create a more polished and impressive kind of overall effect.
Yeah.
It's about strategy,
Hmm.
using language strategically to demonstrate your mastery
I love that.
of English in this academic context.
Okay, so the first category is words to express opinions.
Okay.
So we're talking about going beyond, basic phrases like I think or I believe.
Exactly. Instead of saying something like, I think schools should focus more on technology,
Yeah.
you could say, I contend the schools should prioritize integrating technology into the curriculum.
Okay, so that is definitely a more formal way to put it. But what makes contend so much more effective?
Well, contend suggests that you're taking a more reasoned,
Yeah.
evidence-based stance. You're not just stating an opinion, you're engaging in this thoughtful debate, and that's what the IELTS examiners are really looking for.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not just about sounding smarter. It's about using words that accurately reflect, the complexity of the topic and how deeply you understand it.
Precisely. Yeah. Choosing words that align with the expectations of an academic setting and showing that you can express yourself with nuance and precision.
Okay, cool. So how about transition words and connectors?
Oh, these are good.
These are like the bridges between our ideas, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
They help to create a smooth and logical flow
Yeah.
in your writing and in your speaking.
Okay.
Think of words like however, therefore, and consequently.
Right.
Instead of your sentences sounding choppy and disconnected,
Yeah.
they flow seamlessly, from one point to the next.
Right.
And they're guiding the examiner through your argument.
I've always struggled with transitions. They always feel so clunky in my writing. How does a word like consequently create a smoother flow?
So let's say you're arguing that technology is really beneficial for education.
Okay.
You could say, technology provides access to a wealth of information. Consequently, students can engage in deeper, more independent learning.
Oh.
So that consequently
Okay.
establishes a cause and effect relationship between those two sentences,
Got it.
making your argument much more persuasive.
Wow, that's really helpful. So it's about creating those logical links between ideas.
Yes.
To make your writing more cohesive and your arguments even stronger. I'm starting to see how each of these categories is like a building block, for success in the IELTS.
That's a great way to put it. Speaking of building blocks, our next category is words for comparing and contrasting.
Okay.
And this is really important for analyzing different perspectives,
Mm.
which is a really common task that you'll encounter on the IELTS.
Right. Like when you're asked to, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of something.
Yeah.
Or compare different viewpoints on an issue.
Exactly. And that's where words like whereas, while, and in contrast
Yeah.
become really essential tools
Right.
in your, linguistic arsenal.
Okay.
They allow you to dissect those differences with precision and clarity.
So, for instance, instead of saying young people like social media more than books,
Yeah.
you could say, whereas young people are drawn to social media, older generations tend to prefer books. Does that subtle shift in language actually make a difference?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
By using whereas, you're not just stating a fact.
Right.
You're highlighting the contrast between those two different preferences.
Right.
And demonstrating your ability to analyze and compare those diverse viewpoints.
Okay, cool. All right, let's move on to category number 4, data and trends.
Okay.
This one seems particularly important for the writing task 1, where you often have to describe like charts or graphs.
You're absolutely right. This category is all about using precise language to describe trends effectively.
Okay.
So instead of simply saying sales went up,
Yeah.
we can use words like fluctuate, soar, or plummet to create a much more vivid and accurate representation of the data.
So it's about choosing words that paint a clearer picture
Yes.
for the examiner,
Yeah.
showing them that you can interpret and present data in a sophisticated way.
Precisely.
Right.
For example, instead of saying the number of tourists decreased slightly,
Right.
you could say the number of tourists experienced a marginal decline. That slight shift in language demonstrates a more nuanced understanding of
Yeah.
that trend.
I see what you mean. Marginal decline sounds much more, precise and analytical
It does.
than just saying decrease slightly. It's almost like you're showing off your knowledge of data analysis,
Yeah,
even if you're not an expert.
exactly.
All right, so on to the final category. High impact adjectives and adverbs. This one sounds like fun.
It is. Think about it this way. You've built this solid foundation with your opinions,
Yeah.
your transitions, you've compared and contrasted skillfully,
Yeah.
and you've presented data with precision.
Yeah.
Now it's time to add those finishing touches. Those words that really make your language sing.
It's like adding spices to a dish.
Yes.
You've got the core ingredients, but those spices, they can really just elevate the flavor.
Exactly. And in this case, those spices are powerful adjectives and adverbs
Right.
that, make your language more vivid and impactful.
Yeah.
So, for example, instead of saying education is important, you could say education plays a crucial role in societal development.
Oh, yeah. Crucial role definitely packs more punch than just important.
Right.
But isn't there a risk of overdoing it with these high-impact words? Like, could it sound unnatural or forced?
That's a great question, and it highlights the importance of balance. It's not about, stuffing as many impressive-sounding words
Right.
into your sentences as possible. It's about choosing them strategically
Right.
to emphasize your key points and create a lasting impression.
So finding that sweet spot between sounding sophisticated but still being clear and natural.
Precisely. And it's like anything else, practice makes perfect.
Right.
The more you experiment with these words and phrases, the more you'll develop a sense of, how to use them effectively.
Yeah, it makes sense. This all makes so much sense. It's like we've been given this toolbox
Yeah.
filled with all these powerful tools and we're learning how to use them.
I love that analogy. Speaking of tools, our source also provides some bonus phrases. For IELTS success, sort of ready-made phrases that can really boost your performance.
Okay, give me some examples.
Well, for introductions, you could use phrases like, it is widely acknowledged that, or one of the most pressing issues is. These phrases immediately establish a more formal tone,
Right.
and they demonstrate your grasp of the topic.
It's like you're signaling to the examiner that you're comfortable in this academic environment and ready to engage with the topic.
Exactly. And for giving examples, you can use phrases like, for instance, consider the case of,
Good.
or to illustrate this point, let us examine.
That's interesting. They're like invitations
Yes,
guiding the examiner through your thought process.
exactly. And for wrapping up your conclusions, you could use phrases like, in summary, it is evident that, or to conclude the evidence strongly suggests that. These phrases help you to synthesize your points
Okay.
and leave a lasting impression.
So it's not just about, using fancy language. It's about strategically structuring your responses to create a more polished. Yes.
And persuasive effect.
Exactly. They provide this framework,
Right.
for presenting your ideas in a clear, organized, and impactful way.
This is all fantastic information.
Right.
But how do we actually make these words and phrases stick in our brains? How do we go beyond just knowing them to actually using them confidently and naturally?
That's where the next section of our source comes in. Actionable tips to make it stick.
Okay.
Because you're right, simply knowing the words isn't enough. It's about integrating them into your active vocabulary so they become second nature.
So what are some of those actionable tips? What can our listeners do?
Well, the source emphasizes a few key strategies. The first is create a vocabulary journal.
Oh, yeah.
This can be a physical notebook or even a digital document where you jot down new words, their definitions, and example sentences.
Oh, I remember doing that in college.
Yeah.
It really helped. Something about physically writing it down.
Yes. It's a classic technique for a reason. It forces you to actively engage
Right.
with the words instead of just passively reading.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What else? Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah.
Don't just memorize these words in isolation.
Right.
Try incorporating them into your IELTS practice essays and speaking responses.
Okay.
You could even try slipping them into your everyday conversations just to get comfortable using them.
Get those words out of our heads and into the real world.
Exactly. Think of it like learning a new dance move. You know, you can watch videos and memorize the steps, but you won't truly master it until you get up and actually move your body.
Right. That's a great analogy. What about reading? I've heard that reading can help you absorb new vocabulary.
Absolutely. The source recommends reading academic articles and paying attention to how those writers use vocabulary
Right.
to convey their ideas
Okay.
with precision and sophistication. Websites like The Economist and BBC are great resources for this.
Yeah, it's like learning by osmosis. You're
Yeah.
just immersing yourself in that high-quality writing.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the power of making learning fun. The source suggests trying out vocabulary games like Quizlet, or even playing Scrabble to boost your word power.
I love that. Sneaking in some learning while you're having fun. I'm all for that.
Me too. And finally, they recommend recording yourself speaking. Practice incorporating academic vocabulary into your IELTS speaking responses and then listen back
Okay.
to identify areas where you can improve your pronunciation fluency and overall impact.
So it's like having your own personal speech coach,
Yeah.
helping you fine-tune your delivery and your word choice. It sounds like all these actionable tips are really about making a conscious effort to integrate this vocabulary into our
Yes.
daily lives rather than just treating it like a separate study topic.
You hit the nail on the head. It's about making it part of who you are as a language learner and a communicator.
So to wrap things up, it sounds like mastering this academic vocabulary really is like a game changer for anyone who's aiming for that band 7 or higher on the IELTS.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like having a secret weapon that allows you to communicate your ideas with more precision and impact, which gives you a huge advantage.
It's not just about sounding smart, though, right?
No.
It's about demonstrating that you have this deep understanding of the language and the ability to use it effectively in this academic setting. It's like you're proving to those examiners that you're ready to thrive in that environment.
And the best part is these skills, they go way beyond just the IELTS.
Right.
They can be applied to so many other areas of your life.
Yeah.
From, university studies to professional emails, presentations, reports, anything where clear, sophisticated communication is key.
Yeah, it's like you're investing in your future success.
Absolutely.
By developing these skills.
Yeah.
So listeners, if you're serious about IELTSing that IELTS and boosting your overall English proficiency, I say start applying these strategies like right now.
Yes.
The results will definitely speak for themselves. Pick up that vocabulary journal, start weaving those high-impact words into your practice essays, and remember, have fun with it.
I completely agree. Language is such a powerful tool, and the more you hone your skills, the more effectively you can use that tool to achieve your goals.
I love that analogy. What's one academic word that you think every IELTS test taker should master and why?
Ooh, that's a great question. If I had to choose just one, I would say analyze. The ability to break down complex issues, identify patterns, and draw insightful conclusions is essential not only for the IELTS, but for success in life in general.
Yeah, analyzing information critically is such a valuable skill. So as you continue on your IELTS journey, just remember that mastering this academic vocabulary, it's not just about checking boxes on a list.
No.
It's about unlocking a whole new level of communication and setting yourself up for success in all your future endeavors.
Well said. It's about empowering yourself with the language skills to navigate the academic world and beyond.
Yeah.
With confidence and precision.
So here's a final thought for you all to ponder as you continue on this exciting journey of language learning. What one academic word will you commit to using today to elevate your English?
Ooh.
Pick a word that resonates with you. A word that you feel will make a real difference in your communication. Write it down. Use it in a sentence. Share it with a friend. Make it your own.
It's a small step, but it's a step in the right direction. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And who knows where this journey of mastering academic vocabulary will take you.
On that note, until next time, happy learning.